We have The Amazing Spider-Man number 656. We got Marcos Martin on the most beautiful art, and we have Dan Slott on the most beautiful writing. If you joined us last time me and David did a 4-color News and Brews, you saw that issue 655 was our best issue of the month, and I still maintain it is quite possibly the best issue of the year at this point. That issue killed. So I feel like this issue was good, but I feel like it was handicapped in the fact that whenever you fall on an issue that good, unfortunately, you're going to hurt. This issue could not live up to that, and as such, I tried to go into the issue assuming that it would not. Hello, cat. You're all up in my grill. Zombie cat. Just ate your brains. Just go crazy. Anyway, there is some awesome art. Marcos Martin. Oh my god. Can we say living legend? This guy is amazing. This guy's art is somewhere... I don't even know. I would say he's somewhere in between like a Mike Allred and a Steve Ditko. Does that work? I think it does. I mean, if you go back and look at like old Spider-Man, like the original stuff, it's not too far off from that Most Excellent vibe. It's gorgeous stuff. It's got that really excellent Golden Age vibe, but it's just so good. I can't preach enough about Marcos Martin. It's just so gorgeous. Look at that. I just want to keep showing you pictures of this book. Let's just thumb through a couple more pages. Look, I'm just gonna go random. Oh, Spider-Man Paladin! Best looking Spider-Man Paladin fight you'll ever see. And if you don't agree, then shut up! It is so good. I have been a big fan of Spider-Man since the Brand New Day relaunch. Say what you will about how we got there. It doesn't matter. What matters is the here and now. And right now, this book is on fucking fire. This book is so good. The armor suit design, I don't know. It's okay. It's a little goofy, but whatever. It kind of works. It's that Marcos Martin style that I think if it wasn't him, it would look extremely goofy or extremely 90s. Just like the dark Spider-Man suit. Look at me, my shit's armored, I'm bulletproof. I don't know that it would work so well, but Marcos Martin pulls it off really well, and that's why I say he's kind of like a Mike Allred in the fact that some of the more ridiculous aspects of comics, only certain artists really pull that off and make it feel believable, and Mike Allred does an amazing job of that, and so does Marcos Martin. In this last page, look at that. That is fucking hot. Tell me you wouldn't buy that shit a steak dinner and a fucking bottle of wine and take it home and try to sleep with it. You wouldn't? Oh, well, I did. Unfortunately, the book wouldn't put out for me. Story of my sad, sad life. Anyway, awesome book. You should buy it. Notice a trend here. It's just so good. I don't know how much longer Marcos Martin is on, but I hope he stays forever, which I know will not happen, because I'd imagine art like that takes some time. I do not see an artist like that being able to keep up a monthly schedule. I could be entirely wrong, and if that is the case, I will eat my words gladly if you were to do this shit monthly. Anyway, thanks to Dan Slott and Marcos Martin for an awesome book. Next up, that's right, there's more. Next up, we have Death of Spider-Man with Mark Miller and Leinil Francis Yu. Jesus Christ, I love me some Leinil Francis Yu art. I also, from time to time, enjoy myself some Mark Miller, as long as it's not Nemesis. That book is garbage. This issue, we have a lot of stuff that is not really that interesting. Time. This book, I don't know how well you can hear me. I can hear myself real well because everything's shooting back. So let's go ahead and do this. This book was not very good, especially when you compare it to the Ultimate Spider-Man issue. Just take my word for it, I'm killing it. Compared to the Spider-Man issue that is part of this whole tie-in, that last Ultimate Spider-Man issue was phenomenal. phenomenal. Awesome. This book, awful. Just I'm the original Hulk. I'm a giant black dude with tattoos. It's like Mike Tyson Hulk. He's got tattoos all over his face and stuff. I don't care. I just really don't. I don't really know where we're going. The last page is beautiful. The Lineal U art is the thing that's keeping me buying this book. The first issue was decent, wasn't stellar. This issue is a huge drop-off from a book that really wasn't that good to begin with. I mean, I don't know. I feel like I should say something more than just it sucks. So how about I just feel like there was a lot of violence without a lot of substance. I feel like I really just don't care for the original Hulk. Who basically reminds me of like Luke Cage / Mike Tyson / Hulk / who the hell cares. So I would burn this book. As far as grading goes, I would never burn a comic book. People who burn comic books go to hell. Like I just saw something from 30 Rock or something like that, where they deep fried an issue of Avengers Academy. Never seen that show, but I am officially not watching that. You do not deep fry bad books. You can totally grill a Deadpool core book in Burpee's backyard like me and David did. Lost video. But you definitely, most certainly, do not burn Avengers Academy book. This book, you could probably deep fry. The Lineal U art would be chewy, tasty, and delicious. But you could consider the rest of the actual book, the writing, the chewy, gristly part that you continue to chew, and then you're like, God, I'm chewing this for like 30 minutes, and then you spit it out in a towel if you're polite. Or if you're not polite, you take it out. That shit's gross! And you just drop it on your plate, and everybody looks at it like, did you just take food out of your mouth? Not very good. So, yeah. There goes the streak of saying nice things about books. Beautiful art, shite story. Moving on up to the side. Told you it was the musical edition. Anyway, next up we got the Invincible Iron Man number 502. We got Salvador LaRocca on the art. I love me some LaRocca. And we got some Matt Fraction, IF to IM in your long box, ladies and gentlemen. He told me so. It must be true. Last issue was good. This issue, equally good. I know from time to time I don't necessarily feel the Matt Fraction work. This book, I am feeling it. I think the idea of having Dr. Octopus face off with Tony Stark in an intellectual fight instead of a downright throw-him-down fight is a fantastic idea. And I feel like Matt Fraction has really pulled it off here, and I feel like he's done a phenomenal job. That's right, I just said it. Matt Fraction, you have done a phenomenal job on this issue. The art also, Salvador LaRocca, I don't think you can go wrong here. If you have followed this man's career, you know that this man does nothing but the thing that we call awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, if you can find me a book Salvador LaRocca has done that is not beautiful artistically, I don't care about the story. It's not his job. It's his job to convey the story, but the overall crap story, he's got no control over that. He does what he can. But I would argue that he does an excellent job making terrible stories look good. So when he's paired up with somebody like Matt Fraction and gets a script like this, oh my God, watch him soar. That was stupid. I'm sorry, Lily. You don't have to say such mean things to me in kitty talk. It's fucking not nice of you. It's not nice. You make me cry. Next up, we got Generation Hope. We got Kieran Gillen and Mr. Jamie McKelvey. Honestly, the art on this book up to this point has not been my cup of tea. I've not necessarily felt a lot of delight when I read these books, nor has the story really sold me. I wanted to let it get to a point where it's established, though. I feel like up to this point it's been a lot of establishing the characters and really kind of giving us the ground floor look at how this book is going to operate and how the dynamic between the characters is. So I was definitely more than willing to give it a little bit extra time to develop to the point where it had some cohesiveness. I feel like we're there, and I feel like I'm glad I waited. This issue, number 5, is by far the best issue of the series. I think the Jamie McKelvey art definitely does not hurt. I feel like Kieran Gillen and Jamie McKelvey have clearly some excellent, excellent synergy going. If you've read Phonogram, clearly this is evident. But this issue, fantastic. The McKelvey art is so instantly recognizable. He draws some gorgeous women, and he has these great facial reactions in his characters. He does a great job of the storytelling element from the character facial standpoint as well as body language. McKelvey is fantastic at that. I can't stress how good he is at actually conveying body language in his characters. Anyway, Jamie McKelvey, just hats off, man. Doodles. As far as Kieran Gillen's writing goes, because I've spent a lot of time talking about McKelvey, I feel like he did a great job here. The interaction with the letter given to Hope from Beast was fantastic, and his ability to actually really do a good job of encompassing or reining in the whole concept of Beast leaving and boiling it down to there's just so much shit going on there. You don't know who to trust. Leave. Get out. And he says to the point where, you have a lot of people trying to tell you to follow their lead, and I'm going to be one of those people, but I'm doing it for your best interest. Get out of there. I don't expect anything from you. I just want you to get out of there for your own good. Just amazing. I thought this was a really good issue. I feel like it's really hitting its stride, if you will. I'm really interested for issue number 6. I don't know who the artist is on the next issue. I do know that Jamie McKelvey should be the ongoing artist. That is the truth. And nothing but the truth. That shit's damn true. Anyway, great book. Generation Hope was really good this month. I know. I'm back on board, and I'm glad I stayed. Right. Next up, we have Morning Glories number 8 by Nick Spencer and Joe Eisma. I just want to go ahead and say that I'm sorry. I'm real sorry, Nick Spencer. A couple issues ago, I was critiquing the fact that this book seemed to be going nowhere, and that I didn't feel there was enough character development. I felt like we were given a bunch of crazy ideas and lots of stuff, and it had a lot of Lost elements, but we weren't getting the character development that Lost had. So it was kind of like a spin-off of Lost. Or not a spin-off, but a riff. I humbly eat my words. In the last 2 issues, we have gotten some phenomenal character development. It's a lot like what Christos Gage is doing on Avengers Academy with the highlighting in the individual issues. I know that's not Christos Gage's, creation to do such a thing, but that's the closest similarity. And plus, I just brought it up, so I'm just bringing that full circle. Tarantino that shit on your ass. And also, this cover. Rodin Esquejo, Ramadan, I know I said that name wrong. Beautiful cover. I mean, Jiminy Crickets. The issue itself was heartbreaking and entertaining. I felt that I'm very interested in seeing what's going on with each of these individual characters, because the 2 highlights we've gotten in the last 2 issues are pretty fucked up. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there. These are not your all-American children. You've got a murderous cheerleader, and you've got a dude who has a inability to see anything but the time 8:13 on his clocks. And why that is, we don't know. But initially, it starts with a watch being given to him, and he says, "What time is it?" 8:13, and from there, shit just goes nuts. And so you've kind of got more of the Lost elements, but not in a detrimental way. You've got it in a way that it adds some hype to the book in the fact that you're interested in finding out what's going on with the individual character. And that's what I really, really enjoy about this issue, is that in the past, there's a lot of mystery, but there wasn't a lot of mystery that was grounded in something that you could feel and you could touch and you'd want to actually grow upon. It was a lot of abstract concepts that just kind of were there. Now, in the last 2 issues, we're getting these mysteries that are anchored to actual individual characters who are now being extremely well developed. In 2 issues, we've got 2 characters who are extremely well developed. Nick Spencer has knocked it out the park on that, ladies and gentlemen. And so, and I know David did an interview with Nick Spencer at Emerald City Comic Con, which if you haven't seen, it's here on our YouTube page. It's also on the website. And Nick Spencer said, hey, we caught a lot of flack because we weren't doing the character development, but we have like something like 90 issues planned, and we knew we'd get to it, and so we weren't in a rush. And we wish we could have told people we didn't want to spoil it. Fair enough. And he's right. The last 2 issues have been phenomenal. And this issue, I felt, was one of the best since the first issue. Yes, since the first issue, which was awesome and was reprinted because of its awesome factor. I'm very glad that Nick Spencer, who is now Marvel exclusive, which I'm very excited for, get that guy on Runaways, get him on there now, with Eisma. Or not with Eisma, but, Eisma, sorry, get him on there with Eisma. That would be amazing. Get those guys on Runaways. Anyway, so this book, though, it's just, I really enjoy the fact, again, that there's a Lost style to it, but I like the fact that now it's like Lost more in the fact that it's about the character development with the mysteries. The mysteries now tie into the individual characters and their pathos and their mythology, and as that develops, I think people will feel more latched onto it like a leech. And I know for me, I'm latched onto this book now like a leech. I ain't letting go. You're going to have to burn me off with a lighter. If you don't got a big enough lighter for the Burpee ain't going nowhere. So, buy that book. Buy it now. If you haven't bought it, I'm pretty sure I just recently saw the trade, which I believe is issues 1 through 6. So you can easily go pick those up and then buy 7 and 8 at your local comic book store or digitally, I believe, as well. So you really don't have an excuse not to pick this book up. There's multiple formats: digital, trade, individual issues, floppies, if you will. Not a big fan of the term, but floppies. There's a lot of options out there for you. And honestly, we met Nick Spencer at Emerald City Comic Con. Stellar gentleman. Absolute gentleman. Fantastic to talk to. Very delightful. I mean, just, it's good to see success happen to nice people. Okay? And it's even better when the nice people are extremely talented. And Nick Spencer clearly is very talented, as he's shown in this issue, as is Joe Eisma. I am very happy to say that anything Joe Eisma does, I am probably going to pick up now. That guy's art is phenomenal. Let's go ahead and back and rewind it and say, phenomenal. I needed an excuse to drink. We should probably drink every time I do this, too. Not sure where this came from, but it is coming up often. Anyway, Morning Glories, excellent book. I'm going back on board. Next up, we've got Punisher as part of the 5 Ronin by Peter Milligan, one of my favorites, and Mr. Campbell. Let's go ahead and get your first name, Mr. Campbell, because I have been drinking, and I don't necessarily remember your first name. And I am eternally sorry. Lawrence Campbell. Lawrence Campbell's art is awesome on this book. I have really enjoyed the art styles of all of these books. The very first book with Coker was fantastic. This book has been fantastic. And the last book was amazing. And Peter Milligan, I love that guy's work. Ecstatics, X-Force, some of my favorite X-Men work of all time. I even enjoyed Greek Street. I know that book got a little bit of flack on our website, but I enjoyed it for a time. Just a time, though. I dropped it after a while. It ended up not being very good. But it started out excellent. But this Ronin, this 5 Ronin stuff, fantastic. I love the art style. I would really love to see an ongoing once this is completed. Or even just a bunch, like, you could do an ongoing with the characters, or you could do an ongoing where you just constantly introduce these Marvel characters as Ronins, or as enemies for the Ronins. I don't care how it happens, make it happen. We need more! The fact that there's only 2 issues left is very, very, very sad. Very, very disappointing. But I will say I would probably buy this in trade paperback. Hopefully, preferably in a hardback. If they do a hardback, I will be all over it. If they do a trade paperback, I'll probably pass. But if they do a hardcover, I'm going to be all over it, because this is a book that deserves to be encompassed by some beautiful hardcover. Because this is a phenomenal piece of art. It is not just a comic book, it is a piece of art. Gorgeous art, fantastic storytelling. Some of the stories feel a little redundant. You know, it's like the lost soldier comes in and tries to redeem. But I feel like that's part of the course. I feel like it works. Good stuff. Pick up the Ronin. Next up, we've got Fear Itself, Book of the Skull, Matt Fraction, Scott Eaton. All right. I am 50-50 on this book. 50% of me likes it. 50% of me is okay with it. Baron Zemo, big ups. Scott Eaton, Baron Zemo, even better. Good looking stuff. That panel is one of my favorite panels of the week. That is so badass. Scott Eaton, Baron Zemo, make it happen. I want to see more of that. Sin, I love me some Sin. I'm sorry, it's Brubaker and Eaton. Brubaker and Eaton. Even better, I would love to see me an ongoing Baron Zemo book written by Brubaker with Eaton doing art. Anyway, I thought this was a cool book. I like the Norse mythology thrown in there. It works because, you know, if you know anything about Nazis or you've watched the History Channel, they actually had a little bit of interest in the whole, Norse mythology and things like that. So it's not too far-fetched. The book in itself, I thought would be a selling point for me potentially in picking up the series because I have not felt that jazzed about it, to be honest. But it really kind of left me at a point where I was like, all right, I'll have to try the next one. So, I don't know. I didn't walk away from this book feeling a strong feeling other than that is by far one of the best covers I've seen in quite some time. That is fantastic. Look how awesome that cover layout is. The title is not obscuring the art. The art is obscuring the title, which is how it should be. The trade dress is beautiful. It's not too intrusive. It just has the beautiful Fear Itself on top with the prologue and then the title, but the art is the main focus. Beautiful. This cover, whoever designed this cover, and I'm not talking just the art, because obviously we know that Durjevic Ramadan did the cover, but just the whole layout of it is phenomenal. Well done. Best part of the book, unfortunately. But other than that, you know, the book is good. The Scott Eaton art, I'll never turn down some Scott Eaton art. And I'll never turn down some Brubaker or work writing. But I just didn't feel like this really sold me. Now, if the end of this book, where Baron Zemo says, you've made a brand new enemy, Sin, plays out as Baron Zemo versus Sin at some point, holy shit, I'm all over that, and I will go back and I will give this book a way better rating. But if they just kind of throw away Baron Zemo from here, I don't know, whatever. But overall, the best part about this book, the cover, not just the art, the whole cover is phenomenal. I will talk about it more on Sunday, and Burpee's got you covered. Next up, we have Uncanny X-Force 5.1. Holy shit, you have an all-star team here. You have Rick Remender and you have Raphael Albuquerque. And not only do you have an awesome team, you have Uncanny X-Force, which Remender has been destroying as far as awesome content. And then on top of it, you have Lady Deathstrike and the new Reavers, which are essentially, it looks like the old Reavers, which I'm absolutely fine with. The art on this book is absolutely fantastic. I don't expect anything less from Mr. Raphael Albuquerque. If you've read any of his, have seen any of his stuff in American Vampire, then you know what I'm talking about. Or if you go back to some of his even more awesome stuff, his Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle work. Awesome. We love us some Blue Beetle up in this joint. Then you know that obviously I'm gonna enjoy this book. The cover, not so much. Not such a big fan of Simon Bianchi art there on the front. The book was really good. I'm really stoked. The only thing that I don't know about is whether or not they're gonna bring back Deathstrike and the Reavers. I kind of got the vibe that Wolverine killed her, but you know it's not like a full-on death. She's just like smoking body, and I don't mean like smoking body. I just mean like her body is literally fucking smoking. Who knows what that means? For a machine, that could be the equivalent of blood. For a comic character, that's the equivalent of it doesn't matter. They all come back, except for Uncle Ben. Let Uncle Ben stay dead. Same with Gwen Stacy. It'd be interesting if the only characters who die who stay dead are Spider-Man characters. Don't know why that's interesting, but it is. What's up, cat? Clearly this is falling off. I'm a little drunk. Anyway, so Raphael Albuquerque gives us beautiful things like that middle panel there. That is awesome! I-beam laser restrainers, go! It's like a go-go gadget on crack with some Tron lighting. Awesome. The book was excellent. I definitely would like to see more of the Reavers. I would like to see more of Raphael Albuquerque on a Rick Remender Uncanny X-Force. Hell, I would like to see Raphael Albuquerque on more of anything. Anything. Get Albuquerque and get Remender to write just about anything, and I will write and draw anything, and I will just about buy it. I'd buy a Plastic Man book by the two of them, and that doesn't even work. Next up, we're gonna murder. That's right, murder. We have Brightest Day number 22. Jeff Johns, Peter Tomasi, Clark Rice, Ramadan. This book was so anticlimactic that I cannot even begin to explain to you where the anti begins and where the climactic begins. It's all bad. I'm a huge Firestorm fan, but I feel like this issue was like, oh my god, we've gone through all these struggles, and then look, we destroyed all the Black Lanterns, and we destroyed the Anti-Monitor, and holy shit, we are now one, Professor Stein, you're dead. Oh no! Alive, man! Give me the lantern. I'll bitch smack you. Oh, God, who is that? Earth depends on it. Who cares? Really? This is what we're going to get? We have 2 issues left, and this is what you have to offer up? Come on. Seriously? I'm sorry. I'm a huge fan of everybody involved in this book. These guys have given me some excellent Green Lantern books. Huge Green Lantern fan. But Brightest Day has suffered in that almost every other issue is good or bad, depending on. I think it was something like every odd issue was really good, and every even issue... Or every odd issue was good, and every even issue was bad. I don't know. For a while there, it was pretty consistent. But this issue was not good. I mean, really, Firestorm took out the Anti-Monitor I can buy. The guy has the ability to reconfigure atoms, for God's sake. But I don't know. It was just so non-impactful. You have 2 issues left. We still don't know shit. Who's alive? Who's not? Where are the Hawk people? Where's everybody? The Green Lantern or the White Lantern comes and just like destroys. Like, oh my god, your life has granted back. You just turned into fucking atoms. You're gone, motherfucker. Enjoy the stratosphere. I don't know what's going on in this book. I just and Hawkman. It's not related to this book, but now that I'm on a tangent, I'm going to continue with it. You can't stop me. I just feel like they made Hawkman more confusing after Jeff Johns did an excellent job of making him not confusing. Now, Firestorm, you've brought him back. You've reduced him. You've gotten rid of Professor Stein, which I don't necessarily feel like is a good thing. But I'm willing to say that I'm willing to move forward and say, okay, whatever, show me what you got. And I feel like Ronnie Raymond and everybody can move forward without him. But the 2 Firestorms together, you got Jason Rorsch and you got, Ronnie Raymond. I think that'll be entertaining. But where's it going to go? Where are we moving from here? Is there a point? I mean, you got 2 issues left. I feel like at this point we should have a general idea of where we're going and what the impact should be. And looking at the solicitations so far, it doesn't seem like there's going to be much impact coming out of Brightest Day. Or Justice League Generation Loss, for that matter. But, there's no... I mean, like, you look at previous events or previous weekly comics, the solicitations coming forward are like, we can't talk about this. Classified. Blah, blah, blah. So unless they've completely withheld some things, which I don't think will work for a retailer would be pissed. Like, oh my god, I couldn't solicit that shit. Unless they've left stuff out of the solicitations, there's no impact coming here. And I don't feel like you can really say that there is an impact unless Brightest Day ties into Flashpoint, which I don't see happening, considering Flashpoint is its own entity. They're not even tying it into ongoing titles outside of the mini-series and things like that, which is a complete... I don't have to buy it, but that's an aside. Brightest Day has been a bust. A giant bust. I feel like Blackest Night was kind of a bust, and I feel Brightest Day is bustier. If Blackest Night was a bust, it would be a B cup, and if Brightest Day is a bust, it's a double D. I don't know how to I don't know how else to relate that. We're getting simple. We're getting burpee talk. When we're talking bust, we're talking breast size. Oh, send me the hate mail, women. Oh, more of the arm thing. Anyway, who the fuck cares? Disappointing. Absolutely disappointing. I love Firestorm. Don't love that issue. Love Jeff Johns. Don't love that issue. Love me some Peter Tomasi. Don't love that issue. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. A little disappointing on a lot of fronts. Luckily, we're at the end of the review, so if you don't like this show, you probably already tuned out. If you've stuck it out this long, you hate yourself. But anyway, good books this month, or this week. Some bad books, some good books, some excellent books, some terrible books. Brightest Day. But next week is, what, the end of the month? Is next week the end of the month? I'm not sure. We've got a end of the month wrap-up coming up soon, though, so who knows who's going to get the title belt. And who knows who's going to get murdered. If next week is, in fact, the last week, then it's mostly love. We try to focus on love here, right, Lily? Yeah, love. We love love. We love love. But anyway, I digress. As you'll notice, is basically what I do on a constant basis. Anyway, let's go ahead and wrap this up. Again, welcome back to Burpee's comic book Asylum. We're replacing 4-color news and brews. Think of it as your summer crossover, like Flashpoint, alternate reality motherfucking style. We'll be back next week. You bring your beer. I'll bring me. You choose whether or not you want to watch that. But either way, definitely drink your beer, because you don't want that shit to go to waste. It's expensive, and it's delicious. Anyway, we'll see you next week. Who knows what we'll do next week? Who knows what's in store? Toodles. Bye-bye.